All right. Let's go ahead and start. I was running a little late. Got to take care of their family first. Let them get their stuff done. Tomorrow we will be right around 7 o'clock. But let's go ahead and get started with... Oh, wait. Let's do this. I don't have chat. I need to get chat up. This is what happens when you run real quick and in the middle of everything. Alright, let me grab my chat. Everybody have a good day today, hopefully. Grab this real quick here. There we go. Now we got chat up. And we're golden. All right, let's hop into it. I'm gonna leave myself big tonight over on the side because I went back and watched last night. It was really hard to see. I had it up on a TV and the screen was too small. So what we're gonna do tonight, I'm gonna leave the story big because we're gonna go through the story real quick. Today's task, there's a lot of reading with it. And this happens every now and again with these stories. There's a lot of reading involved with it and not a lot of task. And you have to do the reading and understand what the task is asking for. So we'll read through. We're not going to read word for word. We'll skim through. But there are a couple of things in the beginning that we want to read. And then we'll talk about some things. And I'm hoping to keep this right around 8 o'clock my time, so I'll be done by the end of the hour and get through all this. Hopefully we can. Let's go ahead and start today. So we were talking about it last night, whether or not we were going to get log analysis, whether we were going to get PCAPs or network. Well, tonight what we're going to end up doing is we're going to look again at the elk stack. We're going to look at the log analysis of how we investigate an actual incident, right? So you can see up here that tonight it's purple. So we have the log analysis purple, meaning we're going to do a little bit of a purple team. So we're going to do take a look at what's going on the blue team by looking at some of the logs. And then we're going to act as a red team and do some of the red team stuff, hacking into a website and seeing if we can get a flag that way. So let's go ahead and start and read through. Not going to go through this whole poem, but we have a little poem here that was written out. And I did read this earlier, but the last couple of lines on here kind of give us what's going on today. It's a funny little poem, but in here we've got a point in this poem that that shows that we have an RCE vulnerability on the website that can be exploited, and that's what we're going to end up looking at tonight. So we've got a Frostpines sock. We've got two different logs that we're going to look at. So I'm going to keep on scrolling through here, get to the objectives. So tonight's objective, like I said, we're going to be doing both the blue team, so we'll find out what happened through the logs on the blue team, and then we'll look at how Glitch was able to gain access, or at least we think it's Glitch, was able to gain access to the website in the first place using operational red team. Okay, so today's learning objectives we talked about are going to be, we're going to learn about log analysis, which we did a little bit last night using an elk stack. We're going to learn about KQL, which I talked about last night, which is the Kibana query language, and how it can be used to investigate logs. And then we're going to learn about RCE, or remote code execution, and how this can be used to, and how it can be done with an insecure file upload. What's up, Armcast? I hope I said that name right. Rimcast. So it says on here that tonight we can do, by connecting to the machine, all we'll need is the attack box and a VM. I've got them both set up. We do need to use the attack box tonight, not my Kali box, although we run everything on my Kali box. But we'll go through this. All right, so we already clicked. I've already started everything up, so we're good to go. So let's talk about this real quick. Operation Blue Team. In this section, of the lesson, we're gonna look at the tools and the knowledge as required for the Blue Team segment part of this investigation. The investigation of the attack itself and the tools that were used, and which enable us to analyze these logs. For the first part of the operation, we will demonstrate how to use the elk stack and analyze the logs, and demonstrate the demonstration of the web app of Wareville Rails, the Wareville Rails. Man. And this is, of course, feel free to go along. So this talks about log analysis and how you can work with the elk stack, which we did last night, right? So we don't really need to get into this. And in fact, you can see on here that they're talking about using the investigation room of Elk 101, which was the last thing we talked about last night. So let's go ahead and let's see if we can get to this. We should be able to get to this. Should load. All right, good. While that loads, so it says upon loading our elk stack, and we're not using the attack browser to look at this for right now, but we'll just use the elk stack. All of this part right here is not part of the practical. This is basically try hack me, and we've talked about this, how try hack me in itself, and all of these rooms, they go through and give a full explanation, right? So I'm going through all these rooms, and Joseph's going. Many people are going through all these rooms and giving explanations or showing how they're doing it. Try Hackman does a great job in going through and showing you how everything is done. And that's what they're doing here. They're going to go through, and there's a lot of words in here. So I'm just going to kind of skip through and skim through this, and we'll talk about it. We went through a lot of this stuff last night. I seem like I keep saying that over and over. So in this task, we're going to use the discover section like we did last night. We've got two different logs that we're going to be looking at. We got the Wareville Rails, and then we've also got, I think it's Piney something, that we're going to look at in the end. So basically what they're doing here, what they're talking about, is they're talking about how we would drop down and click on the oh, there it is, Frosty Pine Resorts. So if we look at the Wareville Rails, and we open that up, and we look through those logs, it's showing us how we can open those logs up. We can use different search techniques to search through these logs and figure out what happened, right? So in here, what they're saying is we should go in and change the absolute, change the value of the time to absolute, and use October 1st to October to the end of the day, October 1st, the whole day. So we got that part. And then right here, they're kind of describing what I'm gonna make this a little bit smaller so we can try and get all this in here. What they're going is describing the actual page in itself. So we got one, the search bar. We've got, let's see here. We got one, the search bar. We have two, the index pattern. We've got three, which are all the fields. So we talked about the fields last night. All the fields were up. All the fields were up here, and we were able to add different fields in to create different columns. So we've got those fields. We've got 4, which is our timeline. So this is actually our timeline. Comes in graph form. You can change this chart around. 5, we've got document tags. So all of everything within here is going to have different tags, and we can see these. So we can see we've got timestamps. We've got requests. I think we've got messages. Yeah, we've got messages in here. We've got what's called a verb. So we've got get. So here we've got different types of things that a web page does in itself. So when you do a get command, it's going to pull that stuff to you. And then we've got a time filter, which I believe is a little bit higher up on the screen. Yeah, the time filter that we've looked at before. So now we're going to talk about, they go into a little bit about talking about the Kibana query language, or KQL. On another stream that I was watching earlier, Joseph's stream, we actually had somebody in there that was talking about, there's also another language that goes by KQL, or KQ7, and that is the Custo query language, and that's actually what Microsoft runs off of. But all of these are pretty much the same. But if you run the Kibana query language, instead of going and typing or clicking on all of these different fields on the left-hand side, you can actually type in like IP address and then put the IP address in there and run it. And you can basically make a big long query statement that will search through all this stuff, as opposed to get on there and click, click, click. So it's good to learn these types of languages, and then you can kind of bank and put this stuff over into a GitHub if you wanted to, or over onto the side, and then you'll have those queries to run all the time. So you can pull those queries up and then just change out the IP address or change out the name of the machine or whatnot. Use them all the time. So in here, it's kind of going through the query language in itself. And it says if you put 2 quotation marks, they're used to search specific values. So like for instance on here, if we put try hack me in between 2 quotation marks, it's going to look through that whole log for try hack me using the asterisk, which on any search would do that. So if we did United, it would show the United States, United Kingdom. We've got the or, the and then we have a colon that we have on here to say that this specific search, or looking for this specific field. Note that the field you provide here will depend on the fields available in the index of the pattern. All right, so investigating a web attack within Elk. Here we can see that they're wanting us to go to the Wareville Rails and then go through and search through. So let's go ahead and see if we can't pull up the logs and see what we got going on. Yeah, so Rhonda, Custo query, yeah, exactly. Custo query is what we're using on the Microsoft side. KQL is for Kibana query language. So they're kind of going through on here. They're going to show us everything. I want to kind of read through this, because then we can fly through the actual logs and find everything, and then come back over. So it says an incredibly beneficial feature in Elk is that we can filter out all the noise with a web server. And if you've ever looked at logs like this, there is so much noise, and we'll see in here, depending on what type of kickback you get, or what kind of reply or request that you get, you could filter that way, because we'll see in here, we'll see some 404 requests or replies, which means that website wasn't found. We'll see some 200 replies, which means everything was good. So you can go through, and if you know what you're looking for, if you see, hey, there's a 404 request, you know it's a bad request, why don't we filter that out? Let's get rid of all that noise, right? And filter out, and let's try and dig down to what we can actually understand. So in here it says, note that then in the picture below, the logs are being filtered, containing specific IP address. We can filter multiple fields. So you can see in here that they're filtering the client IP address, and then they're going to go in and filter by like the request. It says remove those filters and do the investigation. So let's kind of go through this real quick. We'll pull this up. Let's just kind of look at this. So we'll see right now, we see nothing. And if you look over here on the left-hand side, we've got Frosty Pines Resort. And what we really need to look at here is we need to look at a different log. Let me kind of make this a little bit bigger. There we go. Hopefully that's going to be big enough. We'll drop this down and we'll go over to the Wareville Rails. And once we switch over there, we see that we have no matches. But remember, they told us this didn't happen 15 minutes ago. This happened back in October. So we come up here and we click on here. And we'll change this to an absolute value. And let's go check out what's going on in October. I think they said, what, October? They say October 3rd? Let's make sure. October 1st. Okay, October 1st. October 1st. And we want to look at the time frame. Let's look at the whole day. And then we'll say absolute and not December, but October 1st. And we'll run it all the way to the end of the day. And let's update. Let's see what logs we get. All right, so now looking at this, as somebody that's sitting in a SOC or somebody that's looking at these logs, we're seeing we've got no logs before this specific time, right? We have 0 logs. We have 0 logs in here, or 0 logs in this area, and 0 logs in this area, but everything seems to be happening right here. So we can narrow that down, right? So nothing's happening around 9 o'clock. Nothing's happening. Looks like nothing's happening after 12 o'clock. Let's go ahead and click on here. And let's change our time. And let's say 10 o'clock. And let's update it and let's see what happens. So we're still, so now we see that this is happening between 11 and 12. So we can, this is what we do. We narrow everything down to our specific time frames. So let's go up here, make this noon, and update. All right. So now we've got all of our log files, and it looks like all of our logs are in here in between 11:27 to almost noon. Yeah, like right around lunchtime. So now what they want us to do is, how are we going to filter all of this out, right? We can go and look at this by IP address. We can go look by requests. But what we really want to do, we have 800 logs in here. So what do we want to look at? And in fact, I'm going to take my fat face and move it up at the top. That way we can actually see these logs. Let me kick this over so now we can really see what's going on with these logs. So as we search through these logs, we see client IP addresses. Right off the bat, we see something. So right off the bat, we see this. And this is not really something we ever want to see when you're in a SOC or you're looking at something. You see something that says shell.php. That could probably be a bad thing. All right. So we see shell and we see we got an IP address here. So let's go ahead and filter for this IP address. What IP address was that? We can come over here. We can click on client IP address. And now that we've clicked on this client IP address, we can see a whole bunch of different hits for specific IP addresses. Now we see that the ::1 is hit about 7.2% of the time. And guess what that is? That is an IPv6. Being somebody from networking, we know that's an IPv6 IP address. We can get rid of that one. Or we can just drill down to one that we've seen and we know. So we see that this shell is coming from 10.13.27.115. So let's go ahead and hit plus and let's filter out of that. We see we've got our shell here. And we've also seen here where we had our verb, right? We see our response of 200. We also see a response of 404. But we also see this response of 404. It says get. It's got admin assets, lib, probably like robot. So all these 404s, let's go ahead and let's remove the 404s. So let's do a reply. Here's our response. So we got a lot of 404s. So 54% of these logs in here are 404s. And then 38% of them are 200s. Let's go ahead and hit the plus on these 200s. Let's see what all we've got here. So out of these 200s on this IP address of 10.13.27.115, it looks like we've got shell. We got another Looks like all of these are coming into specific profiles and so forth. So that's how we would drill down. And look, now our hits are down to 162 by just throwing in a response, throwing in IP addresses. And this is kind of how you start to tell your story of what happened. If you remember, we saw logs up here that started around 1130-ish, and now those logs are gone. And now we've drilled down to just these logs in here. And it looks like just these logs are our shell logs. And what we can do, we can go even further. We can go one step further. So we could come up here by using our query message, or by using KQL, we can say message. So let's type in message and let's look for a shell. So we want to filter it. It's going to equal some value, and we want to say shell.php. Now we see shell.php. Now we're kind of really honed in on it now. Look, we've gotten down to 2. So now we really see what we're doing. All right, let's go back over to the story and see where we're at. So it says they've honed down to theirs. They did the same thing. They looked at 10.13, 27.115. They removed 404. In this investigation, let's look at the activity of IP address 10.9.98.230. All right, so we did not look at that, right? We looked at the other one. So let's go back. And what we can do is we can remove these filters. Or we can come in here and remove all our filters. Let's go back and look at this IP address. No, this happened to me earlier. Now we get all our logs back. So now if we look at our client address, 10.9.980.230. So let's go ahead and put that one in place. We can see that in this one, we don't see any of those assets, or we don't see any of the web shell. But we do see different IP addresses or different URLs getting hit. We see specific URLs in here that we could actually pull in place. So you can see get, and then you're going to throw that in front of whatever the website is. So we got jQueries running. These look like they are just normal run-of-the-mill URL hits. Nothing in here really stands out to me. Let's go back. So they kind of go through all this. Now I will say this. Earlier I did look through a lot of this, and this is kind of where it gets a little weird, because they start telling you, oh, do this and do that, and the practical doesn't actually have the stuff in there. Not sure what happened here, but the stuff that they're looking for when they look in here. So as they go through here, they're going to talk about how they're scanning through, how they're breaking everything down, and what actually ends up happening is they find the shell. They find shell.php, but they have in here a spot that shows the C equals dir, and they've also got a spot in here that shows shell PHP with D equals dir. So what it looks like is they've gone and uploaded a shell, and they're using C equals directory, and they're trying to search through the directory with the shell, or trying to search through the D directory. They're trying to find something somewhere, and you can tell that in these logs. So it says, now that we have an initial lead, let's use a search query to find shell. So we've already done that. We looked through ours, we found the shell, but we did not see the C equals dir because that wasn't done. But now we understand what we've done on the blue side. On the blue side, we were able to go through, we looked at all these logs, we were able to find that there was a shell.php that's put into our website. Maybe that's how the bad person got in. So as a red teamer, what could we do with this? So the blue team walks over to the red team, or the manager in the middle, the purple guy, says, hey, looks like we got a web shell on here, or we got a shell. I want you guys to go take this PHP file, figure out what's going on with it, and let's find out. So now let's move over to Operation Red Team. This will be a fun one. So in this section, we will now take a look at the red aspect. In other words, we're going to attack this website, right? And we're going to look and find out how it was carried out. Why do websites allow file uploads? So let's talk about that real quick. Many websites have the ability to upload files, right? We have websites that will allow you to upload pictures. We've got websites that will upload PDFs. Some of them will upload Excel files, whatever it is. Now, if you don't put parameters on those, then you can upload anything. So as a developer, what you need to do is you need to make sure that any input that you have is scrubbed. And you're only allowing what you want to allow to be uploaded. You don't have a full open. So I shouldn't be able to upload a .php file to something that says, hey, upload your icon here or upload your new avatar here. I shouldn't be able to dump a PHP file in there. But we're going to find out that if you don't go through that and you don't scrub those fields and make sure that what's being uploaded is proper, it can cause a lot of problems. All right. These features make a user experience smoother and more efficient, but while it is convenient, it also creates a massive risk. I'm going to put my own words in here. It creates a risk if the file uploads aren't handled properly. If not properly secured, this feature can open up various vulnerabilities for attackers to exploit. So, what happens with file vulnerabilities? File upload vulnerabilities occur when the website doesn't properly handle the files that the user uploads. Okay? If the site doesn't check what kind of file is being uploaded, or how big it is, or what it contains, it could open a door for all sorts of attacks. So we have two quick ones on here, RCE. So you can upload a script into the server, which runs and gives the attacker full control over the server. You can do cross-site scripting, XSS, where you uploading a HTML file that contains XSS code or cross-site scripting code, which will steal cookies, send that information back to the attacker's server. Boom, you're compromised. Okay, so why are unrestricted files so dangerous? I kind of already went over this. Quick examples: uploading a script to the server will execute, leading to RCE. You can upload crafting images, files that trigger a vulnerability. Uploading a web shell, like we saw earlier, or browsing to it directly, going to the browser. And then on top of that, another big vulnerability, right, is weak passwords. One of the easiest ways for attackers to break into systems is through weak or default credentials. This can open up a door for attackers. So they kind of run through here and they give you some passwords that you see in here: admin, administrator, admin at domain, and then password admin, or guest. Guest is guest seems to always be out there. Now guest, even though guest is out there, usually guest has less credentials. They've got less permissions, but you still get in. And if you're able to get in to just do one thing, you're in. All right, so they're going to talk about what is remote code execution. So remote code execution happens when an attacker finds a way to run their own code on your system, right? It's not their system, it's your system, but they've found a way to run their own code on it, which is a highly dangerous vulnerability because it can allow the attacker to take control of the system. They could even exfiltrate data or compromise other connections. And then they kind of discuss what a web shell is. So web shell is a script that attackers can upload to a vulnerable server, which will give them remote access over the whole thing. To kind of talk in here, they can execute commands on the server. They can move laterally within the network. They can download sensitive data or pivot to other services. The web shells typically give an attacker a web-based interface to run commands. Still, in some cases, attackers may use a reverse shell to establish a direct connection. So you could upload a shell. You could upload a shell.php, and then once you do that, then run the reverse shell by using like netcat or something along those lines to actually have it come back, and then now you're on command line. So practice makes perfect. So to understand how a file upload vulnerability can result in remote code execution, the best approach is to get some hands-on experience. Awesome. So this is what we're going to do tonight. A handy or an ethical way to do this is to find a downloadable, reputable, open source web page or web application that has vulnerabilities built into it. There's a whole bunch of them out there that you could actually download and do this by yourself off of TryHackMe. Many open source projects exist in places like GitHub, which can be run on your own environment to experiment and practice. In today's task, we will demonstrate achieving remote code execution via unrestricted file upload within an open source. All right, so they're going to go through here and they're going to talk about this is the code that they want us to create and put in to this website. And then we will see what happens. So it says the above script, when accessed, displays an input field. Whenever it is entered in the input field is run, whatever is entered in the input field is then run against the underlying operating system. So whatever code we actually put in the line that we upload, now it's going to run it directly against a command line into the operating system, which is going to be amazing because at that point we have full access to the box. This kind of goes through and shows what happens, and then here we go. So in the case of this application, the remote code execution is possible through unrestricted file upload. Once this quote unquote profile picture is uploaded and updated, it is stored and it shows where it's at. The file can then be accessed directly. So it's going to tell us where the file can be accessed directly when it's accessed. All right, so let's get to it. Where are we at here? Oh, they're going to show different commands, different codes we can do. Perfect. So here's our practical. All right. So your task is twofold. First, you must access Kibana. So we've already got that up over here, and investigate the attack. So we'll go over there and search through. Then you will proceed to Frosty Pines Resort. So we'll have to create Frosty Pines, and it looks like we're going to have to create a host. We need to update our host in here. And I don't know why this does this. Why you go small? All right. So let's open up a terminal. This is the attack box. And what it's wanting us to do on the attack box is it wants us to actually run a command and add in and now we're going to add in a new host file or host entry. So this host entry that we're going to add in is actually going to put the domain for, what is it? The Frosty Pines, spicy. Ooh, spicy. For the Frosty Pines .thm. We're going to add that in and give it an IP address. So let's do this. This is the one thing I don't like about this. And this is why I like to run everything on. All right, so we'll go ahead and enter. And what that's going to do, so I don't know if everybody knows this, but let's talk about this real quick. So what this line here is doing is it's saying echo, and it's giving the IP address and giving the domain name, and then it's piping it in to the host file. So if we actually ran that same thing again and we did not put the ending on here, basically all it's going to do is print that out. Come on. There we go. So all it does is take that and then it pushes it over to the etc host. So we can run that real quick. Let me show you what that is. Let's back up. Nah, I don't want it in there. I don't want nano. I needed CD. So we need to, let's change our directory real quick. And let's make sure that it actually got our file. It's not gonna let me get in here. Why do we not see it? We should see. Okay, now we see it in here. So we see in our host file, we've got the try hack me, but we also have 10.10.131.55 FrostPines.try hack me. Perfect. So it's in our host file. We should be good. No, I don't want to save this. Let's get out. And let's try and type correctly. All right. So now we got that up. What's our next thing? So it's wanting us to, okay, we need to go back over to our Elastic server, to our Kibana server, and see what's going on it. So let's go back over here. Let's change to our Frosty Pines Resort. We need to get rid of this. And let's see what it says. So we've got our machine. We're going to change to Frosty Pines. Do we have a specific? Okay, so we're going to look at October 3rd. So we're going to look between 11:30 and 12 o'clock on October 3rd. All right. So let's change this time frame. So 11:30 and change that to 12. Let's update it. Perfect. All right. So we're going to be doing pretty much the same thing we just did a minute ago while we were just kind of fiddling through our other ones. So now we're on the Frosty Pines Resort. And we can start scrolling through here, or we can just go ahead and start clicking on here and seeing what we got. So it looks like we've got a whole bunch of IP addresses, or a whole bunch of hits from this specific IP address. So let's go ahead and add this IP address in. And what do we got going on here? Looks like there's our client IP address. Do we have anything? Nope. PHP, let's replace. Not seeing anything here. Looks like we got tokens in here. Not seeing a whole lot from that IP address right now, so let's go ahead and get rid of that one. Let's look at this one. So we have Frosty Pines, try hack me. This is where the fun begins. Now we've got to search through these logs. We have our login. So we see a login here. Not seeing anything malicious. Oh, wait. Here we go. Look at this. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Sound like Dak Prescott. Here we go. All right. So what is this on? Message. So let's do this real quick. Let's say message. Let's just do shell PHP. There we go. Let's go ahead and kill this off. So here we go. We've got shell PHP. We've got shell command. So we now see that whoever put this in, they're running a list command on here. It looks like they ran a command to echo glitch.txt, so there should be a glitch.txt file. We've got another here. Let's see what it's wanting us to continue on. So it looks like we've got Remember to access Frosty Pines resort website. There you go. Okay, so let's read through here real quick. So, blue team, what did we want to do? Where was the shell uploaded to? The directory and name of the shell. So it looks like it was uploaded to media rooms. Let's copy that. Let's throw this over here. It looks like it wants the whole thing. All right, got that one right. What IP address accessed the web shell? So we know from this, it looks like 10.9.54.186. See, as our blue team, as a blue team, are we crushing or are we getting crushed here? What IP address accessed the web shell? 10.9.254.186. Well, wait a second. So it says that that one's wrong. Oh, why did... Oh, that's why. Well, hold on a second. So we've got 10.9.254.186. That's the client IP address. This is at 10.11.83. All right, it looks like 10.11.83. Oh, look. We got who am I going in here. We got a lot of... Okay, that's going to be the right one. All right, red team, what is the contents of the flag? All right, so now here we go. Now here's the fun part. Let's come over to our attack box, and then we need to go to Frostpines.try-hack me. All right, so let's check this out. Frostpines.try-hack me. Oh, look at that. So we've got a website here. Let me close this out. We got a website here. You know what we need to do first, though? We've got to come back up here. Remember up here we had our shell commands. So we need to copy this shell command here, and we need to create this so we can upload it. And let's do this real quick. Let's say nano, and let's not just call it shell. Let's call it something else. Since we're going to be doing hotel rooms and we want to be sneaky, right? If we're going to be a real red teamer, we'd be sneaky, we'd be hiding. We don't want them to actually, like, see how easy it was as a blue teamer to look and find shell.php. How about we not make it shell.php? How about we make it something that's inconspicuous? How about we make it room 404.php? All right, there we go. And then let's see if we can't paste this in here. And let's save it. We're gonna exit, save, and I believe I added that to the root. Yep, there it is. All right, perfect. So we have room 404. because, you know, it's not there. And let's go ahead and open this up. All right, so now what we have to do is we need to find somewhere on this website where we can upload something. So now we've got to start searching. Can we... That's our home site. This is going to be rooms. We're going to look around on this website. Is there anywhere... And we can see that they've got pictures. Holy smoke, $674 a day. Man, $788. This is an expensive hotel. A reservation. Can we upload anything on a reservation? No. But we can sign in. See, we got to sign in there. Is there anything on the about page? No. But we do have an account. And we can try and log in. So, earlier we saw admin passwords, fake. This is why we go change stuff. So, our website is Frostpines.thm. So, what if we said admin? Come on. Admin at Frostpines.thm. Whoop. THM. And then the all-powerful password of admin. Did it sign us in? Did we get in? Oh, look at that. So now we are signed in as the admin. So let's go ahead and go to our admin panel. Perfect. Now we need to find a place. Maybe there's somewhere in here that we can upload. So here's our rooms. We can edit a room. Let's see, what room do we have? We can edit a room. Man, there's a lot of 202 numbers. All right, let's create a room. We want to create a room because room 404. So room 404. And it's not just a queen size bed. This is going to be fit for a king. Capacity. It's a king room, right? It's only for the king. So number one, our price is going to be $10,000 a night. This isn't just a gold room. This is a platinum room. And it's on the top floor. Floor 100. All right. Now that we've messed with that, here's where the good stuff happens. Now we're going to browse. We're going to go find our file. Should be under the home. And there's our room 404 PHP file. Let's go ahead and open that bad boy. And let's go ahead and click and add that room. Please enter a number. Oh, is it because I put a comma in there? Look at that. Okay, so interesting here. I can't put 10,000 with a comma into the room price. So they're scrubbing that, they're checking that, they're making sure that that specific field works, but they're not checking what's getting uploaded to the site. Amazing. All right, so let's go ahead and change that to 10,000, and let's hit add room again. And that was a success. So now we have a new featured room 404. Costs $10,000 a night. It's on floor 100. There are 3 king size beds in this bad boy, but there's only room for 1. So now what do we do? How do we find this room? How do we find where we just created this site? Well, we could, if we come in here, we could possibly do copy the link to this one. That may give us, so that one gives us rooms 404. So that's where it put the picture for that one. So if it put the picture for that one there, then possibly it put our file in the same place. Ta-da, there we go. Look at that. That's a quick and dirty way to do it. There's other pictures on there. Most pictures, most places are going to put them in the same spot. So now, there we go. All right, so now we can start searching for stuff. Let's see what we got. So if I put ls in here, now I can execute. Or let's make this bigger so we can see. Oh, that's really big. All right, so now if I put ls in here and I execute this thing, what do we got? Oh, look at that. So now I got the pictures. I've got room 404, so I see that. I've got shell sh311. So for those that aren't big Linux users, you can use cat to concatenate and show what's actually in a file. I wonder if we could use nano. I know we can use cat. I wonder if I could use nano. That would be interesting. And if I did flag.txt, this would be interesting if this actually works. Ah, it's not gonna work. All right, so let's go back. It wouldn't do it, which is fine. I didn't expect it to. So we can do cat and we can do flag.txt and oh, come on, back up. And this should now show us what's inside that file. And there we go. So it looks like our flag is THM. The glitch was here. So let's copy this. What time is it? Did we get out on time? It's 8:04. We're close. We're close. Let's go back to here. These rooms are always fun because it's always fun to do like red teaming stuff. I don't sit here and do red teaming stuff all the time. So I should be able to post that into there. Hit submit. Boom, I'm finished. And then once again, oh, we can do elk. We can do advanced elk queries, ELK queries. So we'll go ahead and hit complete. So while we're here, why don't we just have some fun with this? Here's all of our commands. So who are we actually logged in as? Logged in as www/data. So let's see. If I can do that, then I should be able to do cd. What happens if I do this? Can I back out of here? And now if I do ls, now where am I at? Oh, I'm still in the same place. Huh. Alright, maybe I can't be as fun as I thought I was gonna be. We could try and get a reverse shell to this thing. I'm not sure if we'll... Yeah, well, you know what? We can try. Yeah, we can try that one, Brent. I was hoping it'd actually back me out. Oh, come on. No less. They're seeing my amazing typing skills. Dude. And... maybe? Oh, there you go. Look at... Brent B for the win. Room details. admin. What's his admin? All right, so what if we did ls? Am I gonna get into this? Oh, look at that. Delete the room. Core. All right, now let's add core to this. Just playing around in here. Chart data. Let's see. Now we're just playing. What can we find? Did I do CD again? I did. Damn it. Logo. Hey. What's SCSS? Yeah, the other thing is to try and go ahead and get a shell back, a reverse shell. I'm sure that's going to be, I'm sure the way we're digging into this is probably some side, something on the side here. What did I say this was? This is core? Oh no. SCSS and then base. Reset? No. I want base. Yeah. I could sit here all night long screwing with this. All right, well, we did it. We finished everything. It's fun. I love doing stuff like this. This is stuff I don't do all the time. This is probably one I'll come back and do just for the hell of it. Let's go ahead and close this out. I'll go ahead and drop that. Let me scroll back up here because I know. Back up at the top, we've got a split screen somewhere. And I want to kill this machine. Let's Let's go ahead and terminate that machine. Boom, done. Show split screen. We'll go ahead and kill this one. Awesome. Well, that was fun. All right, everybody. 8:12. Look, I did it in under an hour. This was a fun room. Had some fun with it. Thanks for hanging out with me. I see Brent B still here. There may be others that are still hanging around in here somewhere. Anybody got any questions? Anything? Throw out. I know we've got Jawjacking in the morning tomorrow. Oh, looks like I got a new follower on Twitch. Interesting. I've actually got a special little following animation now here on YouTube. So if I actually get a new follower on YouTube, it'll actually create a... In fact, I might be able to kick it off. Let's see. For the couple people that are around, let's see if I can kick this off, and we'll see. Make it look like Tech Ricky just assigned. Can I kick it off here? Is it over here on the other one? I could have swore that I set this up. Oh, look, it was over here. So where's this thing at? Oh, I didn't add it in. All right, let me go back. I thought I'd added it in. All right, are y'all ready? For the... Looks like there's 8 people in here that are just hanging out listening to my voice, not necessarily watching. There you go. This is what I've got for somebody that subscribes. Ha 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 ha. Fun in the sun. Santa Claus shooting missiles. All right, that's gonna be it for me for tonight. I will see everybody tomorrow. It looks like we've done a lot of log analysis. We finally did get to do a little red team. I'm sure we're gonna start getting a little deeper in. Oh, Rhonda's here. She probably heard the... Did she hear it go off? Did we see Santa start shooting? Ha ha ha. Oh, the things I find. I'm gonna have to do gonna have to end up doing a Twitch DJ stream, so all of you that have never seen it before can come to it and see the craziness that happens over there. Because unfortunately, all of the stuff does not work over here on YouTube. But we have fun over on Twitch. All right. That's going to be it for me for tonight. I will see everybody tomorrow. I'm sure you are, Brent B. We'll have to get ready and go have some fun. Maybe we can do that this weekend. But we do have an SEC championship game that we've got to watch. But yeah. I'm going to see if I can't. Maybe a Friday night. We'll see. We'll see what's going on. Hey, here we go. How about this? Friday night, we're going to come on here. We're going to come on YouTube. We're going to stream this. We're going to run through. And then maybe, if everybody wants to, we can do a DJ stream over on Twitch. We'll all come over here, congregate, watch this, knock it out, and then jump over to Twitch and have a party or something Friday night. Possibly. I'll have to make sure I don't have anything going on with the family. But we'll see about that. And it does take me... We'll shut this stream down. And don't talk to me. I'm not a Alabama fan anyway. I'm glad Saban left. Him and Pat McAfee are amazing on College Game Day. That's where Saban belongs. Just leave him there. Bama had their time. It's Texas time. UT all the way. That being said, we'll see if we can't do something Friday night. But until then, most people are. No. Before we get lost on college football, I'm going to sign off. It's 8:17 my time. But I'll see everybody in the morning. Hope everybody has a fun-filled night for the rest of the night. See you guys in the morning. Bye.